The Caliph and the Crane. The Caliph was a slender man, with rings on every finger and a flower set out new every day. The Caliph ruled all he could see and much more beyond. Though he had much, he desired one thing more: to be a crane, to not be a Caliph, to not listen to Vizier, as Vizier said, "My lord, the grains are high, the grains are low, the people are happy, the people are sad." And the Caliph would say, "Vizier, Vizier, another day, another day," and would play with his toy. From the far east it came, with panels all in wood, a candle in the middle, and a painting on the inside. If you peeked through the panels and ran it around just so, you would see a man turn into a crane. And so it was in his pond out his window. He had cranes and birds and frogs and fish of all sorts. Well, he would sit and he would watch and he would sigh, and he saw a little man with skinny little legs and beady little eyes come out of the forest with a brown wrap and a rope. And the rope was taken, and he looked, and he looked, and he went, and he looked, and he looked, and he went, and the rope went out, and it grabbed the neck of a crane, and and he was gone. "Guards, guards, guards, come quick!" And 2 guards came with thick, low necks and large bodies and dim-witted eyes. And he called them after the man in the woods, and they ran as guards run, tireless and long. And they grabbed the little man with the beady eyes and the skinny legs and dragged him back to the Caliph. And by his legs they shook him so that traps and poisons and snares and ropes and a black lacquered box fell out and opened. Midnight sand with stars fell from the box, and there a note lay. And the Caliph picked up the note and forgot the skinny old man. And he tried to read it, and he could not. And he called all of his viziers, the one of the merchants who was particularly plump, the one of the farmers who had gnarled hands, but none could read it. Well, the skinny old man grabbed a pinch of the sand and ducked behind a column, and he spread it on his head, and he whispered, "Mutabor, mutabor, mutabor." And his face changed, and it turned into the face of the well-known Vizier of the North, and he stepped out from the column and came to Caliph and whispered in his ear the translation. And he who grabs the sand and pours it on his head, whispers the magic word 3 times, "Mutabor," shall change into any animal he wishes. And he whispered one more thing to the Caliph, "Caliph, if you forget the word, if you should laugh while in the shape of an animal, you shall forget it evermore and cannot turn back into a Caliph." But the Caliph ignored him and clapped his hands, such joy, and he grabbed the box and ran to the window and grabbed a pinch of the sand, and what did he see but a frog? And he spread it on his head and he whispered, "Mutabor, mutabor, mutabor." And whoop! There he was like a frog, with a little turban on his head and the stone of Caliph on it. And why, he bunched up his muscles and he went to spring, but he only sprang with one leg, and he sprang left through the window and plop into the pond. And all the other frogs laughed at him. "What creature is this who doesn't know how to hop?" Well, he had a good time anyways, swimming around in the watery pond. And such a good time, he almost laughed. But then he remembered and he whispered the magic word, Mutzabor, and back to a Caliph he changed.